got Robert Pompa, the man, the myth, the legend, here live in Las Vegas at the Tales of Aria world premiere.
The Calling, right?
The Calling, that is right.
GP Flesh and Blood.
GP Flesh and Blood is exactly what it is. TC Flesh and Blood.
TC.
Yeah.
An actual event. People in Flesh and Blood.
In the Flesh and Blood. 900
really
people are here.
I'm
just for the
very
pre-release.
I thought that for the pre-release you might have gotten like 300-400. They said 900. I was
Yeah.
like, that's good. You know, it's not just a game that people just buy and hold and just, you know.
All evil investors. I'm an evil investor. He's an evil investor. We're all evil investors. We're the Triangle Hat crew. What?
Yeah, no. I mean, there's definitely, you need there to be funding for the game, so you need people to invest and to believe in the game.
Of course.
You know, because if the cards have no value, the games, there's no reason for vendors to buy it, there's no reason for stores to
And
have
people
it.
need to hunt FaBled.
But we also need people to play the game, otherwise
live.
we're just buying junk that
Absolutely.
eventually crashes. So it all functions together. So I've been here not to play the games. I come from Magic the Gathering or years ago, Yu-Gi-Oh!
Big dealer out of New York City.
I just came just to talk to people, right? So I'm happy to see Saint here, of course. I knew you'd be here.
Yeah.
But just, you know, seeing people coming from Magic, you know, seeing people selling Magic to buy
Flesh and Blood,
which is kind of cool.
Fab for life.
See, because to me, I believe that there's room in the market for a lot of card games, right?
Of course.
I think of that in like a lot of markets where we just have this like mindset that you're going to eat each other, where it's like there's going to be one. You don't want one card game. You don't want just Magic being.
You want healthy competition in the market.
Exactly. So if this keeps Wizards of the Coast, especially as one of their biggest dealers, fun fact, I noticed on their website, now this can, I don't know if this is temporary or whatever, Channel Fireball didn't even have a Magic buy list right now. Because I was looking to sell some Magic cards just to have some spending money, right? Just some overstock, and I was like, they don't even have a Magic buy list. I don't know if they're buying or haven't went to them yet, but it's interesting to see. The more games, like you need Pokemon to exist, you need Flesh and Blood to exist, and it's also good to show that even in 2021, you can make a game that's physical, that succeeds. You know, this is the first event, so you expect big numbers. We'll see how it goes in the future, but it's pretty exciting, to be honest.
I'm excited as well. We got 3 days of action-packed fab goodness.
Yeah, you know, there's going to be, it has everything that everyone wants, and it's a nice litmus test, you know, because you hear, because Wizards of the Coast, from the WotC side of things, they kind of just do, they say they're going to do stuff, and then they just do whatever they want.
They do whatever they want, and they betray their customer base.
Legend Story Studios seems to be really doing like what the player base wants, what's been heard. You know, there's a lot of, you know, underground to it, and that's where you get a lot of real big support for it. And I'm happy for it.
The community.
You know, the community's good. You hope to grow it. You hope to expand it. You hope to see more stores carry it. You know, and you know, just I like to see consistent growth over time. You know, I had questions in the beginning where you see these huge spikes in cards and everything goes to $100,000, and I'm like, this seems a little, you know, fishy.
A little bit.
Right? Not to be, you know, I'm not here to, you know, pull any punches. But
I wasn't part of that. I bought it when the cards were $3,000.
You believed in it, 100%. But it's like to say, okay, this guy, whoever this is, you know, before you were public and everything, he may have the funding to buy cards. Like I was asking Magnolia over there, it's like, why would you spend $45,000 on a Findel Spring Tunic 9.5 quad? I believe it's a plus they have over there. Over an Alpha Mox Sapphire. You know what I mean? Where it's like, this is helping. It's like, you really do have to believe in the game's growth. Because if you're going to buy that, that's an investment period. At that level of price. And you have to say is that the answer is that I think that Findel Spring Tunic will be worth more than Mox Sapphire. And that takes a lot of guts to believe in a game. And the thing is, this is a nice payoff for them. And the players are really getting what they want to see.
And a good ratio, too. It's not only 3% ladies, it looks like 10, 15%.
I'm going to say this, right? I was noticing, walking around, the diversity of player. You hear, you know, this is a, you know, it could be a controversial statement. You can make this a headline. Wizards of the Coast talks about diversity. There's actual diversity.
Yes.
There are women, there's younger people. I know the game is supposed to be marketed for 13 and up. I've seen it
16 and up. They're younger kids.
Yeah, there's still some younger kids. You know, you see if the parent believes their kid, it's okay to see the artwork. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I believe in people have their right to choose whatever they want to do with their money and their time.
Okay.
So, but you see it, you know, different races, different parts of the world.
Yeah.
You know, whether they were in America, you know, we are still in a global pandemic.
Of course.
But it's nice to see that actual organic growth leads to something more like this, where there's actual people here. Instead of Wizards of the Coast which currently seem to just be trying to tell you just how diverse they are.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell people you're diverse if you're diverse. Okay, that's just
Exactly.
a pretty, it's apparent. And it's very apparent. It's a very nice crowd of people. I'm excited to see what happens for the main event because I come from competitive Magic as well. I've been in rooms that have had 5,000 players in it, 6,000 players in it, right? GP Jersey Legacy event.
Yep. Meadowlands. We met there. Jersey.
Yeah, GP Vegas. There weren't that many players, but there were that many people.
Yep.
It's where we meet. And I like the fact that if a first event for this can pull over 1,000 heads, maybe 2,000 heads,
over 1,000 for
that
sure.
shows incentive, right? That gives incentives in a market for that. You're going to have more events in the future because we can get into the back wall, we can get bigger room.
Yep.
And stores can say, listen, I already have Pokemon, Vanguard, Digimon, Magic the Gathering, Cardfight Vanguard, Weiss, Flesh and Force of Will on the books, but there's an incentive because we know people want to play to bring Force of Will into the stores.
Yep.
That's what I want to see. What is the incentive to do it? And the answer is that people want to play. At the end of the day, if you're going to be a good store, you should have the games that people want to play. And clearly, Flesh and Blood is right on top.
There are people that want to play Flesh and Blood, for sure. Everybody says nobody plays this game, but just look around the room. That's a lot of people. There's over 900 people here, and the tournament hasn't even started yet. It's just
And also, one interesting thing I'll notice, right? Another candidate, they said after they got their pre-release packs, does anybody want to drop from the event? Which means do you want to get up and just take your packs and leave? Because you're going to take, they understand what's going on because they're the players. You're going to go and sell these packs. I didn't see too many people get up. People are playing with their first edition packs.
Yes,
which is something. It's like
exploring the
they're
cards.
actually playing,
Yes.
enjoying the card. Not just the fact. It's not just this quick cash money grab. So this is a lot of proof positive for the game. You know what I mean? Is that there's really actual organic want to play, and this is only the beginning. And to me, the more the merrier.
Absolutely,
Whether it's MetaZoo,
MetaZoo too.
whether it's all these
Respect
other
for
games,
MetaZoo,
the more the better. The more
sure.
that you force these companies to put out high quality products, the better. Because if you move a market share and Wizards of the Coast start seeing it, they start seeing that they're losing.
It raises the bar, and they got to do
forces them-
more. They got to actually care about their customers and cater to the customers and keep their word, which they weren't doing for years.
Keeping their word is very big.
Huge.
I'm okay with if Wizards of the Coast wants to expand an IP after 30 years into other brands. I'm not totally against it.
Yep.
It's lost a little bit of its original flavor, but okay. After 30 years, things change. If you ever listen to a music artist from now and 30 years ago, they're always a little different.
Yeah.
But they still have to keep the core of the game.
Their
But
soul,
also,
the soul of MTG
when they
is
say they're going to
different.
do something, stick to it. Where Wizard of the Coast will say one thing, and then
whatever makes them the most money is what they're going to end up doing. But they'll pretend to be about the community, pretend to be about diversity, pretend to be about.
I would
all
rather
this.
Wizards of the Coast honestly just come out and go. Like sometimes you'll hear like Mark Rosewater will say, "Yeah, here's a successful set because it sold the most. We're here to make the most money."
Yeah.
I appreciate that better.
That's
Instead of them
honesty,
coming out with some
yep.
goofy thing where it's like
Yes,
this had the
exactly.
most like diverse type of cards, and it's like no, how's the game doing? Okay,
Yep.
that's all I want to know. Like, tell me how the game is being played because it's a game to be played and collected. And whether or not people like it, invested. Sorry, anything that's collected is going to have a market for people with whales. It's just the nature of markets.
Absolutely.
But that does not exist without players, period. Because there's a lot of scarce items in this world.
There are.
There's a lot of items, there's only 5 of them and no one wants them. There has to be a want.
Of course.
And I'm excited to see the future of Flesh and Blood.
Yeah, the future of gold foils. These things are gorgeous. The print quality is insane.
That's very important too, is that I think Wizards of the Coast, because of their sales numbers, have noticed that no one really actually cares about the foiling on cards.
On their cards,
Because like, oh, you keep buying it, so obviously you don't care.
Yeah.
But I think that eventually the chickens will have to come on to roost.
They will,
that
yes.
When they're releasing unplayable cards because of their quality.
Unreadable cards.
Unreadable, like faded Commander Legends.
Yeah.
$300, $400 collector box, you can't read the foils.
Yeah, but these are beautiful and they're on
They
point. Monarch was a little off. It went off because the printers weren't perfect, and then there's that controversy with the unlimited packs.
Yeah.
But this is special. This is nice.
So, I guess I'll ask you a question, right?
Yeah.
What is your take on the limited release frame for first edition,
Yeah.
how it is currently? and playability of these cards. So say that there's a card that you need from the new set, and the first edition box, because you want to play in the grand or the fall.
Yep.
But the only way to get it is to open a first edition box, right?
Okay.
How would you say that, to answer that? Because that's actually one of my largest concerns, is if you don't want the barrier of entry to play a high tier deck to be so crazy high for the new cards, and then that they're going to be an unlimited version. That would keep me from even going to the tournament personally.
Well, I mean, all of my cards in my deck, I'm playing Dorinthia tomorrow, and for this calling, they're all unlimited. All of them.
Okay.
So
that's for this tournament where it's legal, right?
Correct.
If they wanted to have a release weekend.
I mean for this box, this set, it's about $150 a box.
Pretty unlimited.
Right? For the regulars, even the first edition, Tales of Aria is around $150 a box. Honestly, if they were proactive, you could have gotten it for $105 a box. Okay, pay a little bit of a premium, get some collectability, play with the original cards, and then cycle them out when the unlimited comes out. And I don't necessarily know when these cards are actually going to be within the meta or within regulation play.
Right.
So maybe this whole calling cycle is going to be just the older sets. I'm not sure. I don't know. Right. But I'm sure LSS gives people enough time. Just like with Monarch and then Monarch Unlimited, first edition and Unlimited were released a week from each other. So they're cognizant of their release times to basically satisfy the market.
See, I'm very big on the unlimited product line. I like that.
Oh, it's great.
To play the game to be cheap, to collect the game to be expensive. Pokemon does it to me the best of any of the games. Whereas you don't need the Rainbow Pikachu that's 1 in 2,000 packs to play. There's always the cheaper version available to play. Where Wizards of the Coast has the issue with the mythic rarity, where if you want this card to play in a given deck,
you got to open like 12 boxes worth of cards to get
these
4 of those mythics.
To get 4 Burrows, and then they ban the card.
Yeah, and then they ban the card, and then you're screwed.
It's like, all right.
Yeah, you feel like, oh, I just opened 12 boxes. It cost me over $1,000, and I can't even play the card.
There's the argument about buy singles, but like as a store,
somebody had to open it.
Someone had to crack boxes. It's like you could say buy singles, but someone had to supply the singles, which means there had to be a mass box opening
in the first place.
Which so and then these stores are the only ones, because if a player gets screwed on a card value and it goes down, all right, that's you feel bad. It's okay, like it stinks, but you have your other cards to play.
For sure.
If a store has, say, 30 euros in stock, and this store is just paying their rent, they're just getting by, and these euros are $50 a piece, and they ban it, now it's 10, and they bought them for 40, and they can't sell them for 5. That could be the difference in the store.
Paying rent.
I can't pay my employees.
Can't pay my employees. Exactly.
Not every
That's
store.
ridiculous.
Not every store is Channel Fireball and all that, and you want to build up the small store community. Because you want to have these little groups of 10. And then the people who are playing Magic, you have the one guy who goes, that game looks kind of cool. What's that?
Pretty cool. What's that?
Boop. And then he comes over, and then, if he makes if he has $100 in expendable income, he says, instead of Magic, maybe I'll do 50-50 Flesh and Blood.
Absolutely.
Because you got it in that store. And if you're going to tell someone, listen, you can't have someone who, because he has, $2,000 to spend on cards to buy a deck, he raffle stomps the whole store, everyone leaves.
That won't happen here, though. You can have a $200 deck and be competitive in Flesh and Blood.
That's very
at the calling level.
So everyone says, oh, it's just this giant pump and dump and everything's too expensive. So as long as you play the game, there's ways to be tier 1 competitive. Not competitive. Like, you're going to hear some, like, getting back on Wizards of the Coast here, not to rag on them too much, right? Because that's like the fun bandwagon to jump over here. You know what I mean? But if you don't have $1,000 and you only have $300, you can't tell me that a Merfolk deck's competitive. It's going to play against that. It's like, no, you're going to get smacked by the people who have money to buy back. And that's a pretty bad feeling for a new player. That not existing in Flesh and Blood is very big.
I think like 4 Ragavans is already over $300 right now, right?
$75 a piece.
Yeah, $300.
And if you're buying them from a store, support your local game stores, obviously.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Besides the fact that getting your card shipped right now is, who knows where they're going to come in, right? But the point is, just always support the store that's allowing you to play. Amazon doesn't give you a place to play, So
for sure.
That's why I like how they
don't buy it Amazon, buy it local game stores. It's about the LGS.
That's where you're going to play. It's also way more fun to open packs at a store than home, trust me.